Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website addressed below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week, you have the Judgment card. This week, now, usually when I see this card, I always say it's a blast from the past. Someone or something is coming back up so that you can look at it, assimilate whatever its lesson is, and then finally release it and let go, because you're on then to the World card where you jump ship onto something new. However, this week, I kind of feel like this very much represents a final call. I don't know what this relates to for you. It's going to be different for everybody, right? And I haven't got that much time, so I can't, it'll be like a 7-hour video. But the feeling that I get from this is there's something this week that you are giving that final judgment on, that final call. This is that moment where you make that final decision, where you have all of the facts, that last piece of the puzzle or information that you needed. So something comes to a completion, but it comes to a completion by your own hand. This is where you choose to end something, where you choose to transcend something, where you choose to go off in a completely different direction. And that's really, really exciting. For your actions and options, you have the Page of Wands, right? So this is great. For me, this card is always where you're creating something. And I see this card for people that write books, blogs. It's very often that creative project that they've wanted to do, but haven't kind of had the guts to go for. Maybe it's talking about that thing that they've wanted to do for some time, but always kind of thought, maybe I'm not smart enough. Or, all the excuses that we tell ourselves, I don't have time. And really, it's just that we doubt whether we're going to be any good at it. Whereas this week, that all goes away. This is about you making the final call to either write the damn book, to start the blog, to start the business, to go ahead with something that you have already all of the knowledge and the skill that you need. It just requires you to be bold and brave enough to go after it. Now, I really like this for you guys because it feels like that's exactly what you're doing. Whether this is you creating some sort of a course, maybe it's already there and now you're starting to think, right, okay, yeah, I think I'm ready to put this out there. I could definitely take a leaf out of this book. I've got stuff that is basically ready to go. And I convince myself, it's not ready yet. Or no, it's not quite done yet. It's not, it just... I always tell myself, oh, it's not ready yet, it's not ready yet. And the truth is it probably was ready ages ago. Anyway, I digress. This isn't about me, it's about you. So for your communications and conversations, you have the Devil card. So here's the thing, right? We talked about the blast from the past energy that comes up. Your Devil card is always, for me, it's the patterns and the cycles that we go through. It is the results of the choices that haven't necessarily been the right avenue for us to go down. And because you've got this underneath the Judgment card, you could be having a really tough conversation this week with somebody that you work with maybe a colleague. For some of you, I actually feel like this is going to be a family member. And it feels like the conversation that you're having is one where you are taking a very strong stance. Maybe you usually take this person's side, or maybe, they pull on your heartstrings and usually you side with them because they know what buttons to press or what place to poke in order to get a certain result out of you. Whereas this week, I kind of feel like it's like you saying, no, I'm putting a stop to that, and you're no longer going to, you're not going to have I'm not going to give you the ammunition or the ability to control me that way anymore. So this week, it looks like you are having a tough conversation. And look at this, right? Because you've got that Page of Wands there. This is, for some of you as well, that person that kind of always says, oh, I'm totally on your side, babes. Like, oh, yeah, you can totally do it. And then just before you go to do it, they're like, oh, but, what if it doesn't work? Or, oh, do you think you've done everything? Or, do you think you've done enough? That person that sort of low key hates on you or hopes that you kind of fail. This week you could be having it out with them, or you could just be plain cutting them off. It's going to be a really interesting week for you guys when it comes to communications, for sure. For your money and materials, oh boom, you got the 10 of Pentacles. Money's good this week. Money is good. Finances are good. Even coming off the Devil card there. The other thing with this as well, this could be where you are no longer responsible, no longer choosing to take responsibility for somebody else's financial outlook or behavior. So you could be cutting somebody off or cutting the purse strings, so to speak. Now, for your personal money and materials, money looks good. The home looks good. You're doing all the right things right underneath the Page of Wands. The beauty is starting to arrive, right? The beauty is starting to happen after all the weeks that you guys have had where it was a bit of a jumble and there was a lot of craziness. This week, I think things start to regulate when it comes to the home, which is fantastic news. When it comes to your physical health as well, it looks like health is going to be good this week. You can be full of vitality, full of beans, full of energy, which is great considering that Mercury's going direct. Yeah, I don't know. I just get this sense that this week you're going to be like really, you know, and not to be mean, but I just feel like you're going to be like, no, you know what, this has happened for far too long. I'm stopping it now. I'm going to put an end to it now. For your love and relations, you have the Moon card. Okay, so I said I thought it was a family member, and I stand by that. Now, your love and relations isn't just your partner or your spouse. Your love and relations is also your familial ties and sometimes even your friendship ties, depending on how close you are to your people. For me, it feels like this tough conversation that you're having is either with a friend who is like a family member, or, you know, when you say like, oh, that person's like my brother or that person's like my sister. It could be somebody like that, of that nature, or it could literally be a member of your immediate family. And it's very likely to be either a parent or a sibling. So it will be somebody of that sort of inner bubble. And it looks like you're having some sort of conversation with them. Now, check this out. The Moon card coupled with the Judgment card, that's a big final call. That's a big final decision. Underneath the Devil card, harsh conversations that are being spoken. If there is somebody in your life that is an addict of some sort, I feel like this week you could be having it out with them. You could be staging an intervention, or, you could be staging an intervention. You could be, maybe finally addressing where somebody has kind of been allowed to just run riot for too long. And you could be the person that says, right, you know what? You've not yet met an immovable object. I'm going to give you one. You know, what happens when I can't remember where that comes from, but there's a line that says, what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, right? So this could be a very explosive week for you when it comes to things like that. Now, on the love front, for those of you that are partnered, this could see you guys just wanting to shut the curtains and the doors and say, you know what, fuck the outside world. Which is, you know, I'm totally here for it. That's my energy all day long. I love people. I love the world. Don't get me wrong. But when I'm in my little bubble, because I have a Cancer moon, so what me and my friend affectionately call the Cancer cave. You know, when I'm ready, I'll just go into my little cave and be like, so, you know, you can find that this week you and your partner are just about that. For those of you that are single, again, I just think you've got other stuff going on. I don't think love is necessarily so important to you this week. Just my take. With that said, I wish you an abundance. For those of you that are partnered, and actually even, for those of you that are single, but also even for those of you that are partnered, I'm not going to be able to ignore it. This could be a blast from the past, right? I said it's not about that, and I don't think it is, but I do feel like an ex, and this is going to be specifically an ex, could be coming back into the picture this week in some way, shape or form. It's very likely to be over social media. I don't think it's going to be, you could just get the I miss you text or something really odd, and you could just be like, okay, yeah, and delete. But just look out for it this week. Or it might be, maybe that's what this Devil card is about, that somebody that you know mutually tries to give you information about that person or what's going on with their life, and you're just like, I'm not here for it, and you kind of shut it down. So just be on the lookout for that. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Take care, and I'll see you soon.